State of employment in India. What a new report says. What does Bengaluru experience of water crisis tell us about water supply and water quality? And what should you know about H5N1 bird flu? Hello everyone, I am Srivastava and I am here with the 3 must reads from the Indian Express today. Now when you open the newspaper today, हर दिन की तरह बहुत सारी ऐसे relevant न्यूज़ हैं, एडिटोरियल्स हैं, एक्सप्लेनर्स हैं जो आपके करंट अफेयर्स के लिए also for your static part of the syllabus also बहुत useful हो जाते हैं, be it any competitive examination and any stage of the examination, prelims, mains, descriptive examination, interviews, knowledge और awareness बहुत important है. Okay, so that's why I choose these 3 must reads, and you can have your own must reads and important reads in your list. Now, my first read to read today is coming from the explained section of the Indian Express. Now, there's a lot of news about, and a buzzword is employment. एम्प्लॉयमेंट और अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट एक हम भी यूपीएससी एसेंशियल्स में एक सीरीज करते हैं इन द रिटन आर्टिकल फॉर्म, और उस सीरीज जो कि नाम है सोसाइटी एंड सोशल जस्टिस, उसमें भी हम अनएम्प्लॉयमेंट कवर कर रहे हैं. But in this particular explainer by Aanchal magazine, she writes about the state of employment in India, a report which has come up. It says about youth, women and concerns and caution. Now, जब आप पहले कुछ पैराग्राफ्स पढ़ेंगे, then you will get a मोटा-मोटी, clear picture about what is this report saying. For example, the first paragraph, and as I read, there have been paradoxical improvements in labor market indicators such as the labor force participation rate, workforce participation rate, and the employment rate in India in recent years after long-term deterioration from 2000 to 2019. So this is something which you should mark. और ये जो 3 चीजें यहाँ पे हैं, labor force participation rate, workforce participation rate and employment rate in India, इनके बारे में थोड़ा और understanding अपनी बनाइए. The improvement has coincided with periods of economic distress both before and during the COVID-19 pandemic, says the India Employment Report 2024 released by the Institute for Human Development and International Labor Organization on Tuesday. Therefore, this report becomes very important because it's coming from, ILO भी इसमें participant है. So this report becomes very important और इसको ध्यान से पढ़ने के लिए आपको जरूरत है. Now look at the big picture. When I say the big picture, so the major issues and the major highlights and the background is a little discussed here. For example, the second paragraph says the report has flagged concerns about poor employment conditions, the slow transition to non-farm employment has reversed, women largely account for the increase in self-employment and unpaid family work, youth employment is of poorer quality than employment for adults, wages and earnings are stagnant or declining. So I can easily frame a question out of this one paragraph giving 4-5 options and I can ask you which one is correct and which one is not. ठीक है, तो इस पर्सपेक्टिव से इस पैराग्राफ को आपको पढ़ना चाहिए. The employment condition index has improved between 2004-5 and 2021-22. But some states like Bihar, Odisha, Jharkhand and UP have remained at the bottom throughout this period, while some others, Delhi, Himachal Pradesh, Telangana, Uttarakhand and Gujarat have stayed at the top. तो कौन से states top पे हैं, कौन से states bottom हैं, you have to understand. Now any index, जैसे यहाँ पे हम employment condition index की बात कर रहे हैं, they follow certain indicators और उन्हीं indicators पे आपको एक report मिलती है. Okay, so what are these indicators? In the 4th paragraph, it is mentioned percentage of workers employed in regular formal work, second percentage of casual laborers, percentage of self-employed workers below the poverty line, work participation rate, average monthly earning of casual laborers, unemployment rate of secondary and above educated youth, youth not in employment and education or training. Okay, so ये तो कुछ बातें यहाँ पे बताई गई हैं, इंडिकेटर्स बताए गए हैं, कुछ मेजर जो इश्यूज हैं वो बताए गए हैं. But there are certain takeaways which you should keep in mind, and instead of reading the whole article for you, these things are there. There's a rise in youth employment, this article mentions, this explainer mentions, but quality of work is a concern, especially for qualified young workers. Unemployment among youth, especially those with secondary level or higher education level, has intensified. Then female labor force participation, that is LFPR, इसको आप ध्यान से you should know about it, remains among the world's lowest. Okay, this is an important point to know. Then informal employment has risen. Self-employment and unpaid family work, especially among the women, have risen or have seen the rise. Then regular employment has declined and casual employment has also declined. Now there is this eighth paragraph here which says that regular employment is generally seen as providing better quality jobs due to regularity of employment and associated social security benefits, while casual work is linked with relatively poor quality jobs due to its irregular nature and lower quality earnings. Okay, तो ये definition भी आपको यहाँ पे दे दी गई है so that it can be easier to understand the whole topic. Now, this explainer is in complete form. It's a complete answer for us. It gives us facts, it gives us figures, and it also tells us about the way forward. Now, there are 5 points in the way forward, and you must think from the perspective of the impact of AI also on employment, then the investments and regulations, economic policies, okay, and the support need to provide to micro, small and medium sized enterprises. Everything should be kept in mind while discussing the way forward. The first point is very relevant, and I'm reading it. There are key policy areas for further action: promoting job creations, improving employment quality, addressing labor market inequalities, strengthening skills and active labor market policies, and bridging the knowledge deficit on labor market patterns and youth employment. ओके, सो ये पूरा एक्सप्लेनर जो है एम्प्लॉयमेंट सिनेरियो को बहुत अच्छे से कवर करता है. Therefore, you must read it properly and jot down the points. You must not pay so much attention on figures, okay, but you should know what is the trend का आपको idea होना चाहिए. ठीक है, what is increasing, what is decreasing, and all these things. So this is my first pick, okay, from the Express today, Indian Express today. My second pick comes from the editorial. Now you know that the other major news, the continuing major news these days have been the water crisis in Bengaluru. Okay. Now usse related बहुत सारे editorials explainers आए हैं. We've done in the past also. But this a very nice opinion or the editorial written by Sachin Tiwale, and its experiments with water supply and quality woes should lead to rethink on centralized delivery system. Okay, so this is again a very important editorial, and the first paragraph says that Bengaluru is experiencing its worst water crisis in decade. The weak monsoon last year has compounded an already difficult situation caused by one, unregulated urban growth, okay, and secondly, depleting groundwater sources. Chennai too has experienced shortage in recent years. Several other Indian cities are, under similar stress, indicating that water supply is really factored in urban planning. Remember a few days back, Amitabh Sinha wrote an explainer on the reasons behind water crisis in Bengaluru. It's a good time to revise that thing also. And in the first paragraph here, it's telling that many cities are experiencing this crisis. Now, when you go to the second paragraph, it is a very important paragraph, aapke prelims ke liye, to know a fact that is very important. The second paragraph says that it's also worrying that a large section of India's urban population does not receive safe drinking water. Last month, the Payjal Sarvekshan revealed that only 10% of Indian cities meet drinking water standards. So it is talking about the water safety, the quality of water which we are drinking and consuming. Now, Payjal Sarvekshan is something which I want to draw your attention to. It is a part of Amrut 2.0, and it was launched by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. So this can be asked in your prelims examination. So kabhi beyond the editorial जाके आपको उन facts पे research करनी चाहिए. And this year there was the first Payjal Sarvekshan Award also. Okay, so these 2-3 things you should know here. So the center of the argument, यहाँ पे center of the argument क्या है? वो है quality of water. And in the paragraph 3, it is very well stated that the quality of water is known to deteriorate in the distribution network because of multiple factors. ऐसे factors कौन से हैं जिससे quality of water जो है वो deteriorate हो रहा है? Compounds from old pipes releasing into the water, sediments build up, and the accumulation of pathogens. This is a concern in several places, including developed countries. The problem gets compounded in Indian cities because of leaky pipes, many of which are close to sewer lines. So these are some things which we already know, we see around and we are aware of. But when it comes as a part of an editorial, you get you understand its gravity, its importance. Now यहाँ पे जो बात की जा रही है that this deficit of quality of water or the water crisis is exploited by two things: companies manufacturing water purifiers, आप सबको पता है, and then packaged drinking water. और जो ये पैकेज ड्रिंकिंग वाटर है, जो बॉटल में पानी आता है, that are based on two things. One is the decentralized treatment of water, and the second is the non-pipe mode of drinking water. Interestingly, अभी बैंगलोर के केस में एंड इन अदर एरियाज आपने एक और वर्ड सुना होगा, वाटर ATMs. All right, so these are some of the things, just say this water crisis is being addressed, but then there are problems. Okay, there are problems with this kind of decentralized treatment and all this has been addressed here, and there have been way outs also. But in this box, if you will see, it talks about some caveats, and it says there are caveats though. Not everyone can afford water sold by private players, which is very true. The WHO's concern about the reverse osmosis method used by the industry to purify water, please underline this method, reverse osmosis method. It robs the water of essential minerals, are also valid. तो प्रॉब्लम क्या है इसमें? इट इज मेंशन्ड हियर. Acknowledging the feasibility of decentralized water treatment and supply does not rule out conversation on appropriate technologies. So appropriate technologies का तो use करना है, but you should be aware of what are the problems of such packaged bottles and which is based on decentralized treatment of water. Okay, so ये चीज आपको ध्यान में रखनी है. So this is a good piece, this is a good add-on on water crisis and water situation. Questions can be framed around it, तो इसको पढ़ना बहुत जरूरी है. Now my third pick, a quick third pick comes from the online section, Indian Express के explained section में online article है, अलिन चौहान द्वारा लिखा गया है, and it is how the H5N1 bird flu threatens the very existence of birds and mammals. ओके, तो H5N1 जो है, जो बर्ड फ्लू है, ये काफी बार न्यूज में रहता है, सो यू शुड नो, एंड स्पेशली आफ्टर कोविड एंड ऑल दीज वायरसेस एंड connected news should be seen very with lot of concentration. You should note them down. So it says since 2020 a highly pathogenic type of bird flu, H5N1, has been spreading across the globe, posing an existential threat to birds and wildlife. The virus has infected birds in more than 80 countries and resulted in culling of millions of chickens and turkeys at commercial poultry farms. It also struck numerous species of wild birds such as gulls and terns, killing them by thousands. Now, it is also reaching mammals, and that is something which is of great concern. And what you should also understand is what is bird flu, for your basic understanding, for your current affairs. So bird flu is also known as avian flu, refers to infectious viral illness that mainly infects and spread among poultry and some wild birds. There are different strains of bird flu virus which has been circulating for a very long time, and this includes wild waterfowl such as ducks and geese without much harming them. Okay, so what's behind this spread? Some experts also tell that climate change can be a reason. And are humans at great risk? This you can find out while reading this particular article, online article. Okay, so do write to me at manas.srivastava@indianexpress.com. I'll come up with 3 must reads tomorrow again. Till then, think smart, work hard, conquer your goal.